Hey, you all. I've been really wanting to make an upload about uh, dating, being single, but under the guidelines of God. And I know that when you're dating and you're not dating under the guidelines of God, it's difficult in itself. But then when you add God into it, it makes it even smaller options because a lot of people that are not going to understand the ways of God because they're so used to living like the world and doing things like the world. So it's kind of odd for them when it shouldn't be odd, but it is. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a date that I had not too long ago. And it was like my first kind of date where I was dating under God, having God in mind. So there was this guy, and I used to go to school with him in seventh grade, but we didn't know each other, but I just remembered him. So we were like in seventh grade. But now that we're both adults, I happened to run into him, and we were at Mike Night. And for people who don't know what Mike Night is, it's a place where you can go and tell poems or sing or just do whatever's on your mind, and there's no limits to it. You can talk however, there's no boundaries. And when I first started there, I didn't know God, and oh my gosh, y'all, this one poem I had was so perverted. I can't even believe I even said that out loud. It was kind of catchy, but I should never have said it. It was awful. But I did try to redeem myself shortly after that by, having a really convicting God point. But anyway, I ran into this guy there and I was like, hey, didn't I used to go to school with you, and you went here, and I did too. And that kind of opened it up the door for him and I. And nothing really happened the first couple of times, but I wear my God shirt and I wear my God t-shirts everywhere. It's very rare that you see me without my God shirt. I mean, I'm in my uniform now, and then I'll have on the back how to get saved. So I'm all about God. So when I read that God poem, I had remember God on the t-shirt. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this guy knows what I'm about. And, oh my gosh, this is kind of off topic, but when I was reading that poem, there was these boys that were getting ready to rap. They were called up to the stage, and I was standing at the door, and the guy that I'm getting ready to tell you I had a date with, he told me to go sit under this light at one of the booths, and it was like the only light that was shining on me. And remember I telling you I had remember God on my t-shirt? And anyway, these two boys go up there and they're starting to rap and talk about cutting the wrist if you're not living your life. Like, what's that? YOLOing, something like that. You only live once type thing. But you can tell that they were really, really uncomfortable rapping that song, because under this light, you could see these big letters, remember God. So they should feel uncomfortable. I hope it was convicting them. But because, oh my gosh, Satan has such a hold on this generation. But anyway, so I went to go get my car serviced, and not too long ago, in December. So the guy that I used to go to school with was also getting his car serviced. So we started chatting as we're waiting for our cars to be serviced. So he asked me if he could cook for me lunch the following day. So I accepted, and I went to his apartment, and he cooked me the lunch and had champagne, and it was nice. And then we, of course, when you're on a date, you start talking about, your former relationships. And I was telling him about the relationship I was in forever, and it wasn't going anywhere. It was like in neutral. And so, and I was telling him that people need to date with a purpose. They need to have a common direction of where they're going. And I said, well, why? Because I'm like, well, why date if there's no purpose? And he was telling me that his definition of dating was different, which I didn't even really want to ask him what his definition of dating was. I didn't want to go there. So, so we ate, and I noticed that I was trying to ask him more in-depth questions. And I think my first red flag of what his true intentions were is that he didn't want to talk in depth of any questions. He wanted our conversations to be like, well, what's your favorite color? Who's your favorite basketball team? You know, what's your hobbies? He wanted to talk like that. And to me, I wanted to talk about life and things of the world or whatever. So I guess I didn't get the memo that we're supposed to only talk about hobbies and favorite colors and favorite basketball teams and stuff like that. I guess I'm just different like that. But anyway. So after lunch, we are sitting on the couch, and I noticed that he keeps scooting closer and closer to me on this couch, and to where we're like touching. And then, of course, he gets the arm over me. Y'all, wish y'all could have seen me because I was like this. I looked so uncomfortable. I was like this. And in my mind, I was thinking, what does this guy think is going on? What does he think is getting ready to happen? So anyway, he popped in this comedy, like an Office, called The Office or something, and I really wasn't watching it. But throughout the comedy, he's like asking me questions, and keep in mind, he's all leaned over, and I didn't want to like turn my head, and so he could, you know how they try to be slick and y'all know what I'm talking about. So, you know, the show was over, and I was like, hey, look, why don't you finish the rest of your day? I'm gonna leave. But before I left, he was like, well, I want to show you my room. And his room was like right next to the foyer, to the door to leave. So I'm like, okay. So he shows me his room, and then he starts taking off his shirt. You know how you can tell people are in shape even though they have their clothes on? So I already knew he was in shape. But he felt the need in front of me to take off his shirt. And as soon as he started doing that, y'all, I went from the doorway to the door to wait for him. Because I'm like, you know, I just feel like there were so many snares, and I guess we can't always, even though we feel like we can trust someone's intentions and we think that they know what our intentions are, they're going to try you. And that's just how these little demon spirits are. They try to try you and entice you to get you to forget about your values. And that happens a lot. And I think what also happens a lot is that us women, we get into those snares and we place ourselves in those situations. And I know better. I know better not to do that, but I went against my better judgment. So avoiding snares like that is very important. And I want to do a series on relationships. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not a relationship expert. This is just purely based on my experiences of things that I feel like I could have done better. And I wish I knew God sooner. I feel like I would have been married with 10 kids if I had done it God's way, if I would have been patient. But no, I've done it my way. And where has it gotten me? So we have to wait on God and be patient. But anyway, I want to do a series, and I want to give you all a heads up on that. And I know it may or may not be popular, but that's okay. For people that might help, that's great. And so, well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening, and have a great day, and God bless.